Welcome to another tutorials on Banahene Tutorial Collections, and in this Microsoft Excel tutorials I am going to share with you 10, that is my 10 favorite activities that should be part of you as an Excel user. And these activities I'm going to share with you should not be of a distance from you whenever you are using Microsoft Excel. So without any further ado, let's dive in and let me show you these 10 activities that you need to have as a Microsoft Excel user. The first on my list is how to protect your worksheet. Now this is my worksheet I have in this current workbook, and if you want to protect this worksheet, there are so many ways you can protect your worksheet, and this prevents other people from getting access to your confidential data or your well organized data in Microsoft Excel. And to do this, you can move to the sheet tab and find the particular worksheet you want to protect. And in this case, I want to protect this particular worksheet. So what you can do is to right click, and when you right click on this worksheet, you are going to have all these options, and then we have this as protect sheet. This provides you with this protect sheet dialog box. You have the option to enter a password that will help you to unprotect and also to protect this worksheet. And these two options that has been checked here, that is select lock cells and also select unlock cells, this is always by default check. So if you don't select any of these options that we have here and click on OK, if any other person gets access to this particular worksheet and click in any cells, he or she have the option to select any cell, but when he or she tries to enter a data to any of these cells that we have here, Excel is going to deny the person from doing so, because this is the output. The cell or chart you are trying to change is on a protected sheet. To make any change, unprotect the sheet, you might be required to enter a password as well. So you have no option to make any change in this particular worksheet because this sheet is well protected. Now to unprotect this, you right click and then choose unprotect sheet. Another way to do this is to move to the menu bar and we have the review tab. When you click on the review tab, we have the protect group, and this is the first option that says protect sheet, and the screen tip says prevent unwanted changes from others by limiting their ability to edit. So this particular option denies you from limiting the editing option of your Excel data. So if I click on this, this also provides me with the same window. You can enter a password or you can ignore that and then you click on OK. This also allows you to protect your worksheet in Microsoft Excel. The second on my list is how to apply a percentage symbol to your data in Microsoft Excel. Now when you get to this worksheet, I have this quantity, and this is the numbers or values I have under this column. Let's assume I want to have a percentage sign applied to this. To have a perfect explanation, let me copy this data and then let me move to this section, Ctrl+V. Now I have this data here, and let's see how we can apply percentage symbol to this. I'm going to show you two ways you can do this. Select this cell, type the equal to symbol, select this cell and divide this by 100. Now when you hit the enter key, we have this because previously I've already selected this symbol. I'm going to clear this so that you have the understanding of this particular feature. Now that I have divided this by 100, I have 0.2 here, and if I double click, this is what I'm going to have, and these are in decimal values. Now how can we have this in percentage symbol? As you can see, all these data are selected. I can move back to the home tab and in the number group click on this symbol, and this provides me with this percentage symbol. Therefore, if I want to have this data overwritten on this certain data, I'm going to select all this data and then right click, choose copy, select these cells, right click and then choose paste as values. and then you can see that we have these options, and you can click on this, and now this is going to have this percentage symbols given to this data. Therefore you can delete all this data that we have here, and this is perfectly converted into a percentage values. Another way to do this, let me undo this operation. Now if these are the values that we have here, I am going to type 100 in this cell. Now I'm going to select this particular cell, hold Ctrl plus C on the keyboard. I'm going to select all these cells. Then you move to the home tab. In the clipboard group we have this paste command. I'm going to click on this arrow, and we have paste special. This provides you with a paste special dialog box, and then we have the option to divide. When you click on OK, this is going to change all these values into decimal values. Now I'm going to press the escape key, and now that we have all these cells selected, we move back to the home tab. In the number group we click on this symbol. Now we have this in the percentage symbol. You can copy, and then over this selected cells, and then choose paste values, and then what you can do is to change this into the percentage symbol. Now it says there is already data here. Do you want to replace it? So we have this perfectly done, changing these values into percentage values. Now the next on my list is how to add two data together, and we are going to use three options. We are going to use the concatenate, the ampersand, and also flash fill in Microsoft Excel. In this data I have first name, last name, and full name, and these are the data below this column headers. Now I want to merge these two data into a single cell so that we can have a full name. So we are going to use the concatenate function. You type the equal to sign, concatenate, and we have these two options. Double click on concatenate. Now you have this formula opened. Select this cell, bring your comma, and we are going to provide a quotation mark with space. We bring another comma, select this cell, and close the formula. Now when you hit the enter key, we have these two names merged together in a single cell. If I double click on the fill handle, I'm going to have all these names merged together as a single data. So this is the first approach by using the concatenate function. I'm going to delete and show you the next option. This is to use the ampersand symbol. So you select this cell, equal to, select this cell, then you type the ampersand symbol, open your quotation mark, provide another ampersand symbol, select this cell, and press the enter key. And this also has perfectly merged these two data together. You can double click, and then you have this applied to all the names in your data worksheet. Now the last option is to use a flash fill. This is to type the first name, that is the first and last name in this cell. Now when you hit the enter key and hold Ctrl plus E on the keyboard, this also perfectly merge your two data together in a single cell. So this is how to merge two data in Microsoft Excel, and I have showed you three ways to do this. Put them into practice, and that is going to perfect you in Microsoft Excel. The next on my list is how to color your worksheet. When you move to the sheet tab, these are 4 worksheets available, and if you want to differentiate your worksheet by providing a color code to it, what you can do is to right click on the worksheet, and then in these options we have tab color, and you can choose any of these colors for your worksheet. When you click, right click, click, right click, click, right click. So you can see I have differentiate my worksheet using color coding. So this is best used for you to understand where your data is situated and the kind of operation you want to perform at a particular time. The next on my list is how to create a custom list in Microsoft Excel. Now in Excel, when you type something like Monday and when you hit the enter key, when you use the fill handle, this is going to provide a sequence data, and this is a default list or default custom list in Microsoft Excel. But do you know that as an Excel user, you can create your own custom list in Microsoft Excel? Let me show you how to do this. I'm going to select this cell. Now move to the file menu. In the backstage view, I'm going to select options, and in the Excel options dialog box, I'm going to select advanced and scroll down to the end of this interface. We have edit custom list. This provides you with this beautiful window. We already have this custom list here. And how can you create your own custom list in Microsoft Excel? You move to this section and click on add. Now you can type the list that you want to provide. Now when you are done, you click on OK. Now if I get to this interface and type the first name in my custom list, if I drag this down, this is going to provide me with all the names that I have in my created custom list. So this is how to have a custom list in Microsoft Excel. The next on my list is how to use the sum function. I have this data here, and if I want to have the grand total for all this data, I'm going to select this cell, type the equal to sign, use the sum function, you double click, and then what you can do is to click and drag over all these cells, because you're going to add this range, and when you're done, you press the enter key, and this provides you with this total or this grand total of this above data. Another way to do this is, because these cells are vertically well arranged, when you hold the Alt key and the equal to sign, this is going to select all the cells above this current cell. Therefore, I can ignore this empty cell by holding the Shift key and the up arrow key. Then you press the enter key on the keyboard, and this also provides you with this grand total of the above data. The last option is to move to the home tab, and then we have the editing group. We have the auto sum function. You click, and this also selects all these cells. Ignore the cell by Shift key and the up arrow key, press enter key, and this has perfectly summed your data. So this is how to use the sum function in Microsoft Excel. The next on my list is using the min and the max function. Now the min and the max function allows you to find the highest or the lowest mark or value in a certain data. So if I type the equal to sign, min, double click, select all these cells and press the enter key. Now this is the minimum value or amount in this data. If I want to find the max, I can also double click without erasing everything, type max, press the enter key, and this also provides me with the maximum amount in this list. Another way is to type the equal to sign, open the bracket, and then we are going to locate the first cell in the range, which is C2. Then you bring your colon, and this is the last cell in this range, C11. Close it and press the enter key. This also provides you with a maximum amount in this data, and this particular option can be applied to the sum function or the min function. You can also move to the home tab, click on this arrow beside the auto sum, and then we have max, and this select all the cells above this current cell. You can ignore the empty cell and press the enter key, and this also provides you with the same option. Having the minimum, you click on the home tab, auto sum, min, ignore and press the enter key, and we have calculated or find the minimum and maximum value in this data range. The next is using the if function. I'm going to perform a very simple calculation using the if function. I'm going to type the equal to sign, if, double click. Now if this particular cell, which is F2, is equal to orange, Then I'm going to add all this data here, and if not, I'm going to type not valid. Then I close this particular formula. Now look at this formula. If F2 is equal to orange, then this particular formula should add all this data range that we have here. And if it is not equal to orange, then we should have this output that says not valid. Now when I press the enter key, it says false. Now if I change this to orange, you can see that I have this total here. Now if I move back and then change this to pineapple, this is the output I have here, not valid. Anytime this is set to orange, then this particular formula or function should add all this amount under column C. So this is how to simply use the if function. It's a criteria that allows you to customize the way you manipulate your data in Microsoft Excel. So if I double click, this is the function equal to, if F2 is equal to orange, then sum C2 colon C11. You make sure to close this bracket, then you have not valid, and always text are inserted into quotation marks because they are not values. Then you close this for the if function. So when you press the enter key, this is going to add this data if what we have here or the criteria we have here is orange. But if this is changed to apple, then we are going to have not valid. The next on my list is how to use the average function. I'm going to delete this. So you type the equal to sign, average. You can select the range, or you can type the first cell and the last cell in the range, provide the colon symbol, and press the enter key, and this gives you the average of this particular data. You can also move to the home tab. In the auto sum function, click on this arrow and choose average. You can ignore the empty cell by using shift key and the up arrow key. Then you press the enter key on the keyboard. This is the average of this particular data. Now lastly, the final activity I want to share with you is how to create a custom list using data validation. So if I select this cell, move to my menu bar and click on this data tab, we have data validation, and when you click, you have data validation dialog box. Under settings, you change this to any, from any value to list. Then you have this source field, provide the list that you want to have. Now anytime you type the name, you make sure that you use the comma to serve as the separator, and when you are done, you click on OK. Now if I get to this cell, I have this arrow here, and this tells me that this is the custom list I have created. Now when you select this cell, I don't have any arrow. If I want to apply this validation criteria to all these cells, then I'm going to select all these cells, hold Ctrl plus D on the keyboard. Now if I select these cells, I have these arrows beside it. I can click, choose, click, choose, click. So this is how to create a custom list in Microsoft Excel using data validation.